Hi, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
Hi, this is Jim Valance.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
This is Nothin from Inside the Trojan Horse.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TbT and Ace.
And that's us. Welcome to the Weekly Pour podcast. This is episode 162. We are 2 episodes away from finishing up what is known as season 4. So if you're just jumping in, make sure you're in the chat on YouTube and YouTube only, because we told Facebook to pack sand, basically.
Oh, so, did we?
Yeah, we did. We told Facebook to pack sand. I've told you, I think, off the air that the last couple of episodes we've been doing, they cut off at the 30-minute mark on Facebook. Right. And I can't figure out why. I've went to message boards. I've went to settings of the programs we use, and I got nothing. So other than finding out that other people also had that issue, so I kicked them to the curb. So now I just post the link to the YouTube, the actual live, and yeah, that's where we're at. So we are.
It probably has something. Here. It's probably got something to do with the new iOS for Apple. I'm anti. Well, I love my iPhones, but I was complaining to you before we started about the new iPhone that I have.
Right.
But it's really the iOS that they keep downloading, and we're at, I don't know, 20 million of them, 26 maybe. And
you were close.
Yeah. Yeah. And every single time that they try to fix a problem, they make something worse. Or the fix that they made to iOS downloads ago comes back, the problem.
Right.
Yeah. So I wonder if it's either it's on Facebook's side or it's Apple. And you never know. You never know.
True. I am officially going with it being Facebook's issue, but it doesn't matter. So yeah, and I posted this on social media, so hopefully everybody saw it, that we are now exclusively on Facebook. That's really just for the live broadcast YouTube. Of every episode. Yeah, YouTube. Whatever I said is wrong. Yeah, YouTube. But of course, after the show, we upload all of the audio to make every episode available to whatever podcast place you listen to it from. So yeah, if you want to join us on the lives, you now have to do it live on Facebook. The Weekly Pour podcast is our title thing on our name on YouTube. So just go watch us. We're fun. Jump in. You can check out the chat, jump in a chat, say hi, argue amongst yourselves, disagree with what we have to say, whatever. It's just fun, right? And let me go ahead. Let me get this out of the way too. Next week, we will be announcing what we believe, and we'll probably have 2 separate listings for this. We're going to give you our albums of the year. It may be the top 3 albums from each of us, or it may just be the top 5. Don't know. Because right now I've already kind of looked at the list and I'm like, wow, there's been quite a few, but to add them to like top album has been sort of difficult. But we're going to do that.
That's a good point. I thought of the same thing in preparation for that episode, going back through it and listening to things I listened to throughout the year. And
I downloaded 2 today that I forgot to listen to throughout the year.
They'll be late to the list, but
yeah.
But making 10 like best albums, I think this year has been the hardest. Not for lack of volume of records, but
correct
quality.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Now, I'm not going to throw any EPs onto the list. We're talking just straight up full albums. There have been a number of phenomenal EPs that have been put out. But I'm trying my hardest to just stick with an album. I already have my top album picked, but without throwing in EPs, it is very tough for me to give you my top 3 because I think there's a couple EPs that are better than some of the other albums. But that's going to be something we'll get into next week. Following next week's episode, we're going to take the 2 weeks after that off. That's the final 2 weeks of the year. That'll be Christmas and New Year's week. So we won't be back until January, and that will actually also be the beginning of a record-setting season 5. So very cool for us. We're pretty stoked about that. And of course, we appreciate everybody that's been along with us since we started. Some of which are immediately in the chat every time we're on. Mama TBT's in there. Mrs. TBT is in there, and of course, moderator Natalie, who has made it known that she is moderator Natalie because she changed her name, and that's what her name says. I cannot wait until she gets fired. And Mrs. Ace just popped in. So good. I can't wait till she gets fired because I want to make her change her name to ex moderator Natalie. I think that's only fair. And I think it would be
the artist formerly known as.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, big week of news and new music and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if anybody's read the episode description yet. We have a huge announcement that's been made just a few days ago about an upcoming tour. One that I think you and I have discussed a number of times on here about the possibility of it ever happening. With that, there's going to be another mention, and I didn't put this in the description, but a mention of another tour that's actually supposed to be happening next year that this artist was having a very hard time finding anybody to go out with them. And they kept getting turned down, which I have in my mind. I have an idea of who may have turned them down, which kind of goes into the mix of some of the other stuff we've been talking about realistically throughout the entire year. So once we get to that, we'll have.
Well, now you've got me intrigued.
Yeah, because this is not even anything I had mentioned to you about. Oh, hey, did you see this? Because of course, on outside of the Weekly Pour podcast for us, we have normal jobs and normal lives, and sometimes we don't get a chance to chit chat unless it's like the day before or the day of. I know you and I have been discussing a lot, and I'm sure you're going to want to get into it. We've been discussing the whole Gene Simmons fiasco that's been going on. I've been trying to avoid an opinion just because it's something you got to remember. A lot of people that are listening probably have no idea what we're even talking about.
Right, but something you mentioned the other day when we were texting about it clicked with me, and now I wonder why we're even surprised that it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Good or bad? Good, it's not good, but we shouldn't be surprised.
No. And we're going to get into some Kiss news here in a little bit, and we'll probably touch on this. I mean, we've got an hour to fill, so we might as well, even though we could probably spend an entire hour just kind of discussing the ins and outs of the brain of Gene Simmons. We'd probably do 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, right. Number 1, $.
Yeah, I mean, that's how he signs his name anyway. Real quick, want to say hi to Kathy as well, who has stepped in, and she is very excited to see her Santas. I'm very disappointed to see them, but that's a whole nother story.
You would appreciate these. These are some eclectic and different types of holiday decor.
I'm looking for a Krampus, and I don't see one.
There's some scary ones around here.
Well, I do appreciate scary.
Yeah, there are a few.
I'm trying to look real quick, just see if I've missed anybody that's in the chat. If there's anybody that's watching and you're actually not in the chat, all we ask is that you make sure you hit that thumbs up that's up there on there. That actually helps us out. We also ask that you just say hi. If you're in the chat, just say hi. You don't have to talk. We'll mention you and say hi and appreciate you coming in and all that. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just stay private, whatever. Great week. We've had high temperatures in the 40s this week. So it's been like a heat wave. I was in my pool the other day. It's been great.
How can we go from a beautiful day like yesterday? The sun is out. It's only 43, but it felt like 80. It felt wonderful.
Right.
And then we come to today, and it is the worst day I think I've had being out in the elements. I mean, it's been terrible.
It was still 40 today.
Exactly. And the difference is 0 sun, all rain.
Yeah.
And a lot of wind.
It
felt like it was sub-zero.
Well, and when I left from work today, it was spitting snow.
Yes, it was. When I left as well.
And now, if you look at the weather, you'll see that over the course of the next few days, we're expecting snow here. So I'm not happy about that because number one, don't like snow. Number two, I don't like snow. And number three, you will be happy to know though that the high for Sunday here is 10.
Excellent.
Yeah, with the low of -3. That's not even wind chill. That's just straight up -3. So anybody anybody that's in a state or much southern, more southern than us, please send sunshine. Put it in a bottle.
The funny thing I see when I scroll through my Facebook with my friends and such, the ones that moved to Florida from here and then came back for family reasons, whatever, all are lamenting their move. They're all like, man, why did I move? I was in Florida. It was perfect. Why am I here? I hate this.
Right.
But the nice thing is we have a short winter, typically. This will be over in no time.
True. The issue I have with it is the lack of lack of preparation, lack of people actually getting out and being smart when they drive in the snow, because I don't like stupid people and I don't like stupid people that drive. And when you combine stupid people with stupid people that can't drive, it's horrible. And that's kind of what you and I do. We drive.
All the time.
Yeah. But whatever.
But you mentioned Sunday, and what do we have to look forward to on Sunday? I do anyway. No. I've got a 44-year-old quarterback coming out to play for the Colts on Sunday, and I cannot wait. I can't wait.
I'm more interested in Saturday because Saturday, much like last Saturday, I won't mention anything. I'll just point it out. Much like last Saturday, tears will be shed this Saturday.
Why?
As I watched an icon retire.
On Saturday?
It's Saturday night's main event.
Oh, is that coming up?
Yes,
I missed Raw. I missed Raw this week, and I've been kind of out. I mean, do you really care? It's Gunther, right? He wrestles Gunther? No. Who's he wrestling?
I'm throwing it out here now, okay? The scripted plan is that, it's Gunther.
But
I don't think it is.
I wondered about that because when they did this tournament,
I think we're getting a curveball.
Right, they did this tournament, and I'm thinking if it's his last match, and it's coming down to no offense with Gunther, or I think it was LA Knight, correct? In the final, yeah. No offense to either one. I love both of them, but it seems like a weird thing to have just a current star like that. When Ric Flair had his quote unquote last match, it was with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
A whole different tier of wrestler. So what are you thinking? Who are they going to bring in? Who can they bring in? Who's capable?
Money can buy you anything.
It can't buy you time and your body back.
No, but it can buy you people from other promotions.
Who is out there? Are you talking about like someone in AEW or TNA or what?
Yeah, AEW.
Not
I would
Jericho.
not be surprised if it was Edge.
You think?
I'm just throwing that out as a possibility. I'm not saying it will be. I'm just throwing out a possibility. I think there's going to be a curveball, and if there's not a curveball, I will honestly be disappointed.
I'll be surprised, honestly.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed only because, gosh, I don't want to badmouth the guy. I like Gunter, but no,
he's a
I'm from America. It's
phenomenal
Gunter.
wrestler.
He is. He absolutely is. But I personally, my opinion, don't think he deserves to put Cena out as the last match. I mean, you could always have the legend killer.
See, that's where I would go because they had such a feud.
Yeah.
For a long time, and it would be perfect to have Randy Orton come out and do the honors.
Yeah.
Well, Cena do the honors for him. That would be great.
Sure.
Edge, I don't know, maybe.
We'll see. Well, before we lose everybody else, because I'm sure we've already lost Kathy, we'll jump into some news because we got quite a bit to cover, a lot of stuff, and we're going to start off with probably the absolute best news that we could get right before Christmas. And I only wish that there was another certain person in the chat so he would have tons to say about this. But if you've not heard, one of Canada's most revered and influential rock bands has announced its first tour in 30 years. This is produced by Live Nation and is currently an expansive 2026 North American run, celebrating 5 decades of musical excellence, pioneering stagecraft, and a legacy that continues to inspire fans worldwide. We have had 2 of the members of this band on this very show. We are attempting to possibly get 2 of those members on this show again. We'll see if it happens. But holy crap, launching in April of 2026. And I know this makes you happy. 30 years. Triumph is hitting the road. And I'm gonna start this off real quick, then let you have the floor on this because I know you got a lot to say about it. I guess there's been some speculation that this is a Triumph cover band, tribute band. And there was a post on Triumph's Facebook, I believe it was, and just like that, the Viper has made it in.
Yay.
There was just something on Triumph's social media just an hour ago that I came across, and it said, contrary to basically something to the effect of, contrary to popular belief, this is us. This is not a tribute band. So I went on there and I let them know, hey, we're getting ready to talk about this tour on tonight's episode. We'll make sure that we mention that this is them. This is not a tribute band. This is Rick Emmett, who of course has been on our show. Yes. Mike Levine, who again is another that has been on this show, and Gil Moore, who put out a joint statement. The joint statement said, our fans have always been the heart of Triumph. Their energy, their belief, and the way they embrace the positivity in our music have carried us for 50 years. We've always said these songs were meant to bring people together. That's kind of key. And that's exactly why we're coming back now. We knew there was still a chapter left to write. This tour is our chance to do it together. Key, again, with the people who made the Triumph journey possible. Wow.
I never thought this would happen. And that's because 2 of the members said it would never happen. Gil Moore and Mike Levine both have said they weren't up to snuff musically. They don't play their instruments anymore. They have other things they do. Gil runs Metalworks Studio, which is a premier recording studio.
Right.
And Mike plays a lot of golf in Florida. So,
yeah,
which he's earned. He's earned all that. And they also seem to have no desire to hit the road. They do such a big production that they didn't think they would be able to do it in the proper fashion in a tour. There just was no way. Rick, as we both know, just retired and had been touring extensively. Oh gosh, ever since he left Triumph in 1987.
Right.
I never thought it would happen, but we have been getting hints for a while now.
Yeah.
And we had this story, but we didn't talk about it. But a while back, probably 3 months ago or so, maybe 4, Gil had been working with a mixed reality avatar style idea, like what
easy
Kiss
for
is
you
doing.
to say,
right? With a guy named Jason Solner, and they were banding about ideas on how to keep Triumph going in the modern era. And this is where the avatar thing comes in. And I think when they decided that that wasn't what they wanted to do, the wheels start turning on this tour. Now, a few weeks back, Rick was on the Eddie Trunk show, Rick Emmett. He mentioned something about doing shows and another version of Triumph. And we talked about that because I was objecting to this, because nothing against the people they were bringing out. Phil X, who was in Triumph briefly when Rick left, a guy named Brent Fitz, who's going to play drums. He's in Slash's band. And Todd Kearns, also in Slash's band. They were bringing them out to represent Triumph and maybe pass the torch to these guys.
Right.
So they were talking about mixing in the shows. We'll play a little bit. We'll show up here and there. When they the hockey finals with Edmonton, when that was going on, Triumph came out and played a show there with these guys. And that's when this talk starts. But I'm thinking, I don't want to see a Triumph show if I don't see the original members, right? I don't want to pay money for that. Not right now.
Kind of like going to see Foreigner.
So I was, I was totally against this idea of a hybrid band where Rick might drop in on the show or Gil might come in when he feels like it, depending on where they're at, if it fits the schedule. But this week they announced this tour, and it is full blown. And you can get through to the tour dates here in a little bit if you want. But there's back-to-back shows. There are shows with just a couple days apart. I mean, this is a full-blown, April to June tour on a bus, not drop-in dates, not weekend warrior stuff. They're hitting the road, and they talked about it this week in interviews as well, that they are hitting the road and doing this show, and they are already rehearsing.
Yeah.
Gil has already said he's got a personal trainer and a vocal coach to help him get his voice up to speed. Rick is working on it. Of course, he plays all the time anyway, so I don't think that'll be a problem. So I'm all for this, because now we're going to have not only the original 3 members, but we're going to have fantastic supplemental players that are going to fill that sound out. And the parts that a 72-year-old Rick Emmett can't sing anymore.
Right.
Phil X or Todd Kern or someone else can jump in and do this. Gil now is finally free to come out from behind the drum kit and maybe do something if he wants, and be a frontman type. He's also up there in age. Playing drums for two hours is going to be tough. So we're going to have 2 drummers, 2 bass players, and at least 2 guitar players. I think it's going to be great. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm ready to buy tickets. I don't drive to concerts like interstate shows. I just don't. I don't want to. I'm going to do it for this. If I can get tickets, I will.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to happen again. This is it.
Absolutely.
because we're passing the torch on to these three other guys. I know that's what's happening. And this is the only time I'm going to get to see these guys live, period.
The band's return to the road follows a defining year, honoring Triumph's impact across generations. In June of 2025, the band was celebrated with Magic Power, an all-star tribute to Triumph that was released back in June, which, of course, was a 15-track tribute album featuring a lot of people. The aforementioned Phil X, Sebastian Bach, Slash, Nancy Wilson, Joey Belladonna from Anthrax, Dee Snider. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. Further solidifying their celebrated status, they were inducted into the Canadian Songwriters Hall of Fame. So that's like their fifth Hall of Fame, the Music Industry Hall of Fame, the Canadian Music Hall of Fame, Canada's Walk of Fame, all kinds of stuff, which is great. It's good to see a band getting this notoriety. Tickets are on sale, like pre-sale started today. They'll go through tomorrow. Kicks off in Canada in April 22nd in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. Runs through Canada until the beginning of May. So May 8th, they round out the Canadian side in Calgary. And then on May 13th, they hit Rosemont, Illinois, Milwaukee, Missouri, Kansas City, and St. Louis, Irving, Texas, yada, yada, yada. The closest they will probably get to here is going to be that May 13th Rosemont, Illinois show, because I'm pretty sure that's closer than Sterling Heights, Michigan. It's going to run until June 6th, where they will finish off the tour in Boston. However, I have heard that depending on how sales go for this tour, they're going to expand it and create more dates. I don't blame them for doing that this way. They are 30 years since they last toured. A lot of people can't get around or don't want to go and see them. If they start selling the tickets, we'll probably get them closer.
There were already complaints online that there were no West Coast dates.
Yeah.
And Rick has already addressed that they will get to Los Angeles and San Francisco if ticket sales, are good. It's hard to say. I'd like to say they'd be great. It's hard to say, really, but I'm excited. And I mean, like I said before, there's always been, the last handful of years anyway, a lot of activity. Like one of the reasons we had Mike on was it was the anniversary of the US Festival.
Right.
They've celebrated anniversaries for Allied forces and, just different things like that, punctuating their history for the last 5 years. There's just been a lot of momentum. And I think sometimes when you're in that bubble, you're thinking, man, why aren't we playing? Why aren't we doing things?
Yeah.
And, it kind of changes your tune a little bit. I'm glad they're all in. Even Mike is all in, and he says he's going to do this. So.
Yeah, and for Rick Emmett, who obviously in 1988 he quit Triumph,
right?
And now these three guys are getting back together at obvious to point out their age. They're doing it. They're going out. But I'm super excited as well. I think it's awesome. Not to mention the fact that we've had, two of them on the show to talk about their careers. And, they went in depth and all that. I encourage you to go back and listen to those if you haven't. But this is kind of a big deal. What you said a while ago about this being probably the last time you get to see them. I agree. This is exactly how I felt with when the Motley Crue tour was announced. I don't think we're going to see. I don't think we're going to get a chance to see them again. So
you're talking about the current tour they just announced, right?
Yeah, for the one for next year.
They are a lot younger though, and but I don't know.
Yeah, but you look at the health of Vince Neil. It just kind of makes you wonder. But realistically, any concert you go to could be the very last time you get to see him. So I mean, what do you do? So yeah, super excited. Triumph on tour starting in April 2026. Expect more dates. I don't think that's not gonna be an issue. There will be more. Hopefully everything goes smooth and the shows are amazing. And hopefully they come a little bit closer to here.
And no
My
tapes.
garage is open and available for an acoustic
No,
show.
you always push that. No one ever books it.
I know,
but
I have
I'm
to
also
make it
excited.
official.
No tapes, no backing tracks, no bullshit.
Yeah.
We're taking 6 people out and playing a full rock show. It's going to be great.
Right. Yep. It sure will. Now, speaking of icons, and kind of what we started talking about earlier, we got a lot of stuff from people that we've been following for years. Triumph, Guns N' Roses, Kiss. Well, speaking of Kiss, if you missed this in the news, the surviving members of the original lineup of Kiss were among the 2025 Kennedy Center honorees who were presented their medals by the president during a ceremony in the Oval Office on Saturday. Kiss was there along with, I say Kiss, Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, and Peter Criss. Of course,
right.
Ace Frehley was represented by his daughter. Ace, who, of course, everybody knows passed away just a month ago. Other recipients for this year joining Kiss were Gloria Gaynor, the singer. I'm sure everybody knows who she is. Sylvester Stallone, Adrian, Rocky. Actor, singer Michael Crawford. And I'm kind of excited about this one, even though it's not the genre that I'm like, heavily involved in. But country megastar George Strait, who absolutely deserves every bit of this recognition. Some of the footage has been put online. You can see some of the speeches. The president spoke about Kiss and really all of them. You can see him presenting the medals. This is a big deal. All right, keep your politics out of this. This isn't what this is about. This is about being recognized by the president, no matter who it is.
Whoever it is.
Yeah, it could be Charlie Brown. It could be Viper. No.
Oh God, Lord help us.
But this is amazing. And I think it's a huge thing for Kiss. Not to mention it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. It was last week when we were going through the top freaking bands that Billboard put out by their staff. And we specifically mentioned that Kiss wasn't even included on that list. But yet here they are being honored by the Kennedy Center. So don't take that list and shove it, because that's crap. But absolutely amazing. Ace's daughter Monique, she was the one who accepted the medal on behalf of her father. It was phenomenal. Everybody looked good. I'm throwing Peter in with that too. I do know some of the other former members of Kiss were there in attendance so that they could actually see this happen. But what a cool thing, and what a cool thing for Kiss.
Oh yeah, I totally agree, and I think it's just such a deserved honor for such an iconic band, and it may seem unexpected because of who it is, but it fits. They've done this for such a long time. They've been such a patriotic band in some ways. I don't know if you've been to a show, but they they bring out the flag and they talk about the troops, and they love this country. Gene Simmons himself is an American success story. Coming from,
love him or hate him, he is
coming
the
from
epitome.
Israel. He is coming from Israel and becoming what he's become.
Yeah.
Good or bad, but I mean, I'm talking about the pinnacle of his success. So I think it's great. Did you see who performed for them? They try to keep this stuff hush hush.
Yeah.
But things get out, and Garth Brooks performed. I think he did "Hard Luck Woman," didn't he? I think
yeah, he's actually. I mean, that's a song he has actually recorded before.
Yeah, he covered that
on
the
one
Kiss
of his
tribute.
72 albums.
It was a Kiss tribute.
Yeah.
And then Cheap Trick, and then another singer. I can't think of her name at the moment, but performed. They had 3 different performances for Kiss, and a lot of speeches. all of these honorees get speeches and performers, and all of this will be broadcast in just a few weeks. I think it's December 20th, I think,
I
on
think so.
CBS. They do it every year, the
Yeah.
Kennedy Center honors, and I think it's awesome. Triumph's my favorite. Kiss is probably my second favorite band of all time, and to see them honored like this is really special.
Oh, for sure. So I will absolutely encourage everybody to watch this. One iconic thing, I personally think it's iconic because when you think of rock and roll, you immediately do not think about politics. You don't think about necessarily the government. But while in D.C., Gene Simmons
They put a
actually
microphone in front of him.
they put a microphone in front of him, and he actually took the time out to testify in front of the Senate Judiciary subcommittee on the injustice. That's the word in quotes. The injustice of performers going unpaid when their songs are played on broadcast radio stations. I have watched some of the hearing. There are maybe a couple moments. I'm not going to say it got heated, but I'll say that Gene got very passionate about what he was there for. I know for me, like when I think of rock and roll and I think of sitting in front of the Senate, it goes straight to D. Snyder,
Yes.
from back in the day with the PMRC and Tipper Gore. This to me was this doesn't. I guess this doesn't necessarily affect me. This doesn't affect me, the consumer, me, the fan of music in general, or the artist. But it's a big deal. This, and I don't know all the ins and outs or the details of this. But Gene Simmons and other musicians and artists are championing. It's a big word for me on a Wednesday. The Music Fairness Act, which would establish a music performance right that would require radio stations to license their songs for airplay. Songwriters already are compensated, of course, and performers are paid when their works are, broadcast via satellite and streaming, but not terrestrial radio. Something I did not know. I thought they were. So if you're streaming it, they're getting some kickback. There's some money there. But terrestrial radio, a radio station, they're not.
Didn't we used to hear, and I don't know how you would ever track this, but how royalties work sometimes, where every time a record gets spun, money would come into someone's pocket.
But I think that's the key. Someone's pocket.
But not necessarily the artist.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Gene said
that's where publishing comes in.
Yeah, exactly. Gene said in a quote, "When you work hard and you get to the top, what do you get? Zipperoni. That's not the American way." He continues, "If you go against this bill, you are un-American. You cannot let this injustice continue." A lot of people I've heard say the same thing, but he goes, "It looks like a small issue. There are wars going on and everything, but our emissaries to the world are Elvis and Frank Sinatra. And when they find out that we're not treating our stars right, Elvis, Bing Crosby, and Sinatra got nothing for their performance. We've got to change this now for our children and our children's children." And I get it. Yeah, he's right. There's other things going on in the world.
Right.
But still, if this is an injustice that he is taking, I'd say taking the lead because he's the one testifying. There's a loophole, I guess. Backers of the legislation say foreign radio stations also do not pay artists in return. So yeah, you talk publishing, you talk this, you talk that, but apparently it doesn't go to the artists.
The music industry has historically screwed over the artist. I mean, over a barrel all the time. You think when you become a recording artist, that means that you're automatically rich and famous, and it doesn't. A lot of times it means crushing debt because the money that is fronted to you for studio time and the tour and things like that has to be paid back to the record company. That's how that's how it works typically.
This is why we get sponsors for this show, and it's a podcast because we got bills to pay.
Right, we got bills to pay.
Yeah, we have a moderator to pay.
I think if she's worth it. I think also this is very important because there is less chance of exposure on radio now. And
absolutely.
Yeah, so if you're not getting anything at all, you may never get anything if you don't start now. Did you hear why Gene is so passionate about this?
Well, I mean, other than the fact that he gave his whole story about, coming to America and being able to, make it from nothing and all this, and says that, and I don't know if this is where you're going with it, but he's talking about how the little artists, he goes, it all adds up, a penny here and a penny there. If it's, 1,000 radio stations playing it, but that new person may not get the incentive to do it, but you got to start somewhere.
Gene is such a big star that he's not had to worry about money or radio exposure or anything in a very long time. And what brought this to his attention, the rumor is that his daughter, Sophie, had put out a single and then showed him the residuals that she got or lack of. And it brought to his attention that, oh my, this is really out of sync with what it should be. She put all this effort into this song and the return was almost nothing.
Yeah.
So it was a little more personal, which makes it a lot more passionate for him. And he's not, and it made him realize that there's people out there like he was in 1972, struggling to get by and be a musician. Sometimes you forget that, it's always there, but you kind of forget it.
Well, and now you look at his son and Paul Stanley's son, who are out putting music out together, and they're going to be in the same boat. A little bit different because, they both come from what I would consider wealthy families, but same difference. This bill would provide exceptions for smaller radio stations or ones that have less than 1.5 million in annual revenue. Those stations would actually pay $500 annually for the rights. Public, college, and other non-commercial radio stations would pay $100 a year. So that's telling me that you and I can start our own non-commercial station, pay $100, and we can play whatever we want.
So how does this affect the radio industry, though?
I don't know, and I don't care.
Well, because they're used to getting their content for nothing.
Yeah, it's going to be fought.
I worked at a radio station, and every, what was it? I think every Tuesday or Friday or whatever, we get that big box,
right,
of CDs from the record company, and that's for us to play for our promotions and put into rotation and all that stuff. And now, I mean, will you be giving that stuff away, or what are you paying for it? What are you doing? So it's going to make some changes. It probably won't be the bill as written, because I think there'll be some pushback on this.
Yeah, there will be, just like there will any other bill, but still very interesting. Very, it's good to see Gene, whether or not he's doing this, for his sake, he's doing it for his daughter or whatever. But at the same time, it's going to be something that goes on in the future, which is pretty cool.
And have we had a weekend with so much Gene Simmons news, though?
No, we have not. I'm looking at the time to see how much time we actually have, because we still have a few stories to get to. I don't want to dive too deep into this, just because we could easily do the next 45 minutes on this. Gene Simmons, in addition to all of this, Gene Simmons also was getting basically raked through the coals for some remarks that he made, because he's Gene Simmons and it's what he does. some remarks he made about the passing of Ace Frehley. He has since put out a very, what I would say is a sincere apology.
Oh, good. I didn't know he did that.
Yes, he did. He actually did that today. Some people had some issue with what he said. In our conversations, yours and mine, I did not, because this was Gene. This is the type of stuff he says. He's one of those people that kind of speaks without thinking. And then he, insert foot into mouth.
Right.
And then it becomes, oh, crap, I probably shouldn't have said that. Let me jump on X, social media, whatever, and issue a formal apology.
Or Paul said something to him.
Yeah, or maybe even Doc, who knows. But yeah, he made some disparaging remarks that actually really, really rubbed some people raw. Very much so.
Yeah, and I didn't like it either. I mean, he's saying things about Ace after the fact, after his passing, with little or no evidence. They've been hard on Ace in the KISS camp for a very long time for his alcoholism and things like that, and never really giving him credit for being sober.
Right.
And I think, and the fact that a man falls down the stairs and injures himself so severely that it causes his death. It doesn't mean that he was intoxicated. He's 70s,
right.
74 years old.
Right.
I think it is passing, something like that. We don't walk as good as we used to at 74 years old. So I didn't like it either. But after talking with you, I came to the conclusion that why are we surprised? Because Gene says things all the time that are provocative, controversial. Sometimes he's right. Sometimes he's crude.
Yeah.
And sometimes he's just a jerk.
But it gets his name back into the news.
And there's some speculation that he said these things. This was in a radio interview, by the way, just so people know. Sometimes people were saying he's saying these things to take the attention away from Ace for this event and bring it back to him. I don't know if is he that narcissistic? Maybe. I don't know. But people, boy, they were mad.
Yeah.
They were mad.
Yeah.
And I get it. I didn't like it either.
I get it too. But I'll accept his apology. I mean, I don't care, but I mean, I was glad to see him do that, just to kind of maybe put this to bed, and have some other people kind of take a deep breath and finish their mourning.
Yeah, they're grieving.
Yeah, and be able to get through it. So good. Anyway, nonetheless, congratulations to KISS on the Kennedy honors. Congratulations to the Senate Judiciary Committee who got to hear Gene Simmons, who never, I don't believe, ever took his sunglasses off the entire time.
No.
So, yeah. On to other news, and what I found kind of shocking, because I had no idea this was going on, because this artist is constantly in the news, putting out new music and doing this, doing that, blah blah blah. Stryper frontman Michael Sweet recently revealed in an interview that was done recently, I just say recently twice, that he has been diagnosed with papillary thyroid cancer. This happens to be the most common type of thyroid cancer, and this diagnosis came less than a month after he underwent a biopsy of a nodule in the right lobe of his thyroid. On Tuesday, so yesterday, since we're recording this on Wednesday, Michael Sweet shared the following message via his social media. I'm just going to read a little bit of it. Again, this is thanks to our friends over at Blabbermouth who posted this. A lot of you have been asking about my health and well-being, so I wanted to give you an update. First, thank you all for your continued thoughts and prayers. It always means the world, and I can't thank you enough for taking the time to think of me. I spoke to my endocrinologist, and unfortunately, the biopsy that was performed on November 17th, a nodule in my right thyroid, came back positive, basically malignant. He is scheduled for a CT and an ultrasound next Monday, so December 15th, following the Christmas show that Stryper's doing. And then I'll be meeting with my doctor/surgeon on 12/22 to figure out a plan moving forward. Now, they also start recording the new Stryper album on the 28th of December. And that, according to Michael Sweet, will remain on schedule. Once we finish tracking, I'll be undergoing another surgery to remove my right thyroid and the nodule itself. This is papillary thyroid cancer. So if there is any good news to this, it is the slow growing and something that Michael Sweet's doctor seems very optimistic about. So more than likely, hopefully, knock on wood, we'll see a complete recovery from him. But this is another one of those artists that just doesn't slow down.
I was just going to say he's getting surgery for a cancer or nodules or whatever, and not stopping. He didn't put off the record.
Nah.
No, we're just going to work around it.
Yeah,
we'll plan my surgeries around the recording. Or crazy, but good for him.
Oh yeah, for sure. Stryper released its long-awaited Christmas album, "The Greatest Gift of All," on November 21st.
And they were first.
Correct.
They were first.
Yes.
Put that signal out a while ago.
The 10-song effort includes 5 original Christmas tracks and 5 traditional Christmas cuts, including remakes of "Reason for the Season" and "Winter Wonderland," both of which were obviously on the 1985 single and were also made available on the 86 re-release of Stryper's debut EP, "The Yellow and Black Attack." Speaking of speaking of new music and old artists, I don't know if I should have said those together. You and I mentioned, how much time we got anyway? Holy crap, we got
8 minutes.
All right.
We're good.
You and I mentioned this last week because the songs were supposed to be out, and they were not. However, you give them, it was supposed to be December 2nd, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it didn't happen on December 2nd. December 4th, 2 days late. It's almost as bad as being at a concert and them showing up 2 hours late. Powerhouse rock icons Guns N' Roses, finally, marking their first new music release since 2023. They have returned with 2 brand new singles. One of them is called Atlas, and the other one is called Nothin. That's nothing. That's not nothing. That's without a G. This one's called Nothin. Just an N, like nothing. Ain't got nothing. Nothing. Atlas is Guns N' Roses in full surging rock mode, while Nothin is more introspective over floaty keys and an emotive guitar. Both songs are available today via wherever you want to get them from. We have listened to them. I like both of them. They are not, I'm not going to call these vintage Guns N' Roses songs.
No.
Axl, he's in the studio. They can make him sound better than he is live.
Sounded good.
But he sounded good. Of the 2 songs, Nothin is my favorite one. Before we started this show, and I probably listened to it 4 times. I'm pretty sure Mrs. TbT is probably tired of hearing it already. But I like them. I think they're good. Atlas and Nothin is my favorite. I think it's pretty good. Just so you know, it just came across my screen. There's a winter weather advisory for us. So batten down the hatches.
But I liked those songs and the intro to Nothin. I thought we were going back to the 70s for a minute.
Right?
And then it kicked into something else.
Slash's guitar work on both of these, phenomenal.
He sounds great. And like you said, they're in the studio, but Axl sounded really good. He didn't hit the big high notes all the time, but he'd hit a couple, and you're like, oh, there it is. There's Axl.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, there he is. So I highly encourage you guys to listen to, I don't even know if they've put videos out for these or not. I don't know. I'll check. If they have, I'll post them on our social for you guys to see them, give you a reason to go to Facebook. But check them out. Again, it's Atlas. I don't remember what I was calling it when I was texting you, but it certainly wasn't
Able.
Atlas. Able. Yeah. I
kept saying
don't
Able.
know where the hell that came from. Atlas and Nothin. New Guns N' Roses releases. Check them out. I think you'll like them. If not, then you have bad taste in music. Okay.
And you're un-American.
Yeah, you're un-American. We talked about this last week, our last 5 minutes of the show. We're going to tell you some of the tracks that you need to figure out and listen to because it's Christmas time. And nothing beats Christmas better than metal Christmas songs. Right?
Right. This has become a thing. Rock bands putting out Christmas music has become a thing.
Yeah. You and I were talking before the show started about like one of the ones that we immediately jumped to Rob Halford,
right,
who put out an entire Christmas album, which was freaking badass.
Yeah.
And then the one that I know I go to every year because nothing has beat it yet. And that's Twisted Sister's A Twisted Christmas.
Right.
Probably my absolute best and favorite Christmas album ever. But did you know that there are many, 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 many other artists who have put out songs related to Christmas? Korn.
I didn't know that. I just
Jingle
saw
Bells. That. Yeah. Jingle Balls is what they actually named it. But still. The Misfits. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. Chuck Billy. Who's Chuck Billy? Testament. That's who Chuck Billy is. He did Silent Night with Scott Ian.
Mr. Grinch.
Yeah. Of course, Twisted Sister, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. The entire album, I think, is pretty good. There's some duet with Lita Ford. I think it's I Saw Mama Kissing Santa Claus, maybe. I don't know if that's what it was. But it was good. And there are just so many. As I was going through here, We Three Kings by Halford is phenomenal.
That's great.
Why in the world would Natalie, the moderator, who's officially losing her title after saying, Dolly Parton, I'll take hard candy every Christmas day. That's not rock nor metal.
Whoa. She is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
And Alice Cooper also put out a Christmas song when he did Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Cheech and Chong did too, of course, but that's not metal nor rock and roll.
I got a kick out of this. They counted Mistress for Christmas. AC/DC.
I know. I don't. Guar, if you remember the band Guar, Stripper Christmas Summer Weekend was a song they put out. Fantastic song. There's been so many. Merry Christmas, I Don't Want to Fight Tonight, of course, was by the Ramones. Spinal Tap, who could ever forget Christmas with the Devil?
King Diamond?
Oh, yeah.
No Presents for Christmas.
Yeah. Billy Gibbons, Dave Grohl, Lemmy Kilmister, Run, Rudolph, Run. I mean, these are some fantastic things. The Magic of Christmas Day, Dee Snider and Lizzie Hale. I mean, there's so many rock and metal songs out there. I told you my two favorite songs. There may have been three, but the most important two Christmas songs that I had for me that are rock and metal, of course, from Steel Panther.
Right.
The Stocking Song, which has probably got to be the most epic Christmas song ever. And they also did Sexy Santa.
What are these about? I'm suspicious.
Yeah, you should be.
Yeah, of what these are about.
What do you do to a stocking?
You stuff it.
Oh, yeah. Just leave it at that.
Okay.
Because that's Santa Claus is Coming to Town, of course, was done by Dokken. If you can remember that from back in the day. There was another one I was going to mention, and I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was Alice Cooper, John Five, Billy Sheehan, and Vinny Appice. Santa Claus is coming to town. That's Claus, Claws. Wow. Santa Claus. So, yeah, don't just pick up your Dolly Parton album or your Hank Williams or your Travis Tritt. Don't forget, by golly, that there are rock and metal people out there putting out Christmas music for you, too. Something like that.
And lots of it. That new Taylor Momsen song that we talked about last week, I love that.
Exactly.
I think it's great.
Yeah. So, whatever. We'll be back next week. And next week, remember, album of the year, according to TbT and Ace. I can promise you one thing, will not be Skid Row.
Well, no, they didn't do anything this year.
Right? I know.
Oh, you know what they want for Christmas?
A singer.
A singer.
Yeah.